What is that house? What is the nature of that filth? And of the inflammation that covered the poor woman's body? If the rulers require proof, then this is it. I will present Zabarov with the key, a grisly memento that unlocks the secrets contained within this diseased place. I must be careful. Ruben told me they're running out of immune restore medication. It's funny that when the game is just starting, you're already running out of the resources to help you with the stuff. So there's my infection. I'm going to want to deal with that, probably. I did get some. My immunity is flagging. I'm going to want to increase that, too, if I can. Because that's not good. That's just a bad time. I have been hinted at the idea that apparently, in this game, your disease increases exponentially. So, when you get infected, the meter, like, I think the meter is supposed to be, like, more logarithmic. Like, it goes up, whenever it has X amount of meter, it goes up faster and faster. And so it's, like, a real problem. And it'll just decay my health and stuff like that. Let's see. Q. Quick reminder of whom, present Zabarov with the key. Zabarov. That's where Alexander was. That's where Anna is. Oh, right. Alexander Zabarov. Right. Right. At the rod. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure he's nearby. If only we could find some kind of mysterious evidence of some kind of plague. It's like, did y'all just collectively not even glance at the actual building where the supposed murder happened? And just see, like, the just throbbing evidence that's all over it. Yeah.
Without the mistresses, the ruler's struggle for power will turn into a military confrontation. But Katerina? No, wrong.
I've found proof, Governor. Here's the key to a house where several people dying in agony are waiting for anyone willing to examine them. Will that be enough? I've already received a report of your spectacular success. How? What? Who? What? How did you... Who'd you receive a report from? News of your deeds precedes you. Now I want you to personally convey your opinion on what you have witnessed to Kane and Oglimsky. Then we can consider your mission complete. I will do that. Right back to where Capella is. That's Oglimsky, that's Kane, yep. Similarly, I need to go... Yeah, I need to meet with both Vlads and both people over here, so our objectives line up nicely with each other at the moment. How convenient. Anyone have some homeless people for me to... I mean, not homeless people, evil nighttime thugs for me to murder? So I can increase my reputation. My poor reputation. It took such a hit from all of the women saving I was doing. From saving women. Because they were being murdered in the streets. That whole mess. It's a weird experience to have your reputation drop because you were stopping people from murdering women. But the guys doing that seem to not get a reputation drop, if it's implied that I lose reputation for doing that. The idea of reputation being a universal thing is weird in its own way, right? Like the game's divided into 3 separate regions, and there's multiple, like, power structures that are in conflict with each other, and yet I'm supposed to think that there's like some kind of unified power and unified reputation that you can have that's shared between all of them. Who's your little nightmare? Wow, that's startling. What's wrong with you? Do you know me? Yes, you are the Bachelor. You know about the Changeling and the Ripper, right? They're at your heels. They use every opportunity you miss to their advantage. What do you mean? And they spoil your plans all the time. They talk behind your back and tell lies about you. How? Clara says you love the truth so much that you won't tolerate any lie at all and will raze to the ground anything that resembles it. Burke says that you only care for your mind, not your heart, and that you are unkind. They aren't telling lies. This is all true, kiddo. Oh, and that conversation's over. Okay. Oh, cool. Now my hunger's raising up. Got a lot of things to balance now. Very encouraging when the game shows me 3 separate meters at once. Because at this, the go-to assumption at this point is that whenever this game shows me a meter on the top of the screen, that means that it needs my attention. So I've got 3 things. Because I don't think my reputation meter was on the screen at first, back when it was full. But ever since it took a hit from me stopping the woman murderers, suddenly it became this thing that's always on my screen until I can fix it. I'm curious to see if there's new garbage. Because I'm pretty sure I cleared this all out when I came here for the show. That was just earlier today. Nope. I shouldn't be surprised being an RPG and all that, but this game has one of the slowest internal clocks I've ever seen in a video game. Like, you actually have that thought of, like, checking garbage cans and remembering, oh yeah, I cleared those hours ago. Like, I cleared those earlier today, and you have the thought, like, earlier today, that was hours ago. But hours ago can be earlier today in this game, because days are much longer than hours. This is just a really good place to loot, because there's so many garbage cans in the park. So many bottles. My God. Well now. Am I imagining that? I probably am. I thought I saw my immunity go higher. I'm probably just misremembering where it was earlier. We need to get to you. Have I talked to an older boy yet? Hey, don't you mess with us. We know a thing or two about life. What's the news in town? Someone's plundered our old powder caches. Who could it be? You had powder? Not powder, powders. Powder schmouters. We used to play Plague. Naturally, the game demanded that we steal medicine. Then we arranged drugstores and produced recipes. Competed at who invents the best one. All in all, a couple of recipes turned out to be fine. I mean, the kids that took those schmouters survived. Jeez. Good for them. You don't get it. They survived the sand pest. You know what it does to your blood? It makes it boil in your veins like an egg in a pot. First it runs thick, then it turns into clots like cottage cheese. How do you like that? And schmouter did help. Where can I find these powders? Ha! I'd never tell you even if I knew. Could I study the recipe and replicate them? Could you? Are you for real? Yeah, I am. I should relay that to our guys. If they come across them, I'll tell them to keep the schmouters for you. But don't count on it too much. Schmouters are unique and hard to come by. I won't. That's important. I mean, it sounds like they just took a bunch of random drugs and mashed them together, and then some of them actually accidentally created a recipe that cured the plague. I don't know if that's entirely sound conceptually, but if it works, it works. Let's barter, lad. I have a lot of curious things. What do you sell again? You sell? Yay, drugs, immunity boosters and whatnot. Okay, and you want watches? I want all of your things, sir. Those are worth 3. These are worth 2. There we go. Just trying to even out the price so I don't do it unfavorably for myself. Because I would like drugs. Thank you. Thank you for drugs. I appreciate drugs. Only useful in very large doses that cause serious health damage. But I can cure the health damage with the Memoradorum, probably. Yeah. Using medication at night seems to help with health damage, and using these immunity boosters may be able to help me with my immunity and cure disease and stuff like that while hurting me, but then I can heal overnight. So this might be my, like, before sleep ritual. I do need to deal with the hunger though, either way. Dried fish. What did I need for the quest? I should double check that. 3 bread, 3 dried fish, 3 smoked meat. I have 2 smoked meat, and I have 2 dried fish. What a coincidence. Dried meat's not on the list. Increases immunity by a negligible amount. Let's try that. Alright, I was staring at the meters the entire time and consumed all 3 of them, and I didn't even see any of the meters move, honestly. Oh, because I dropped them. Because right click is used in a lot of games, but in this game it drops it. Ooh. Is that a negligible amount of immunity to you? That seems like it jumped by a decent amount, didn't it? Admittedly, it'd be easier to see these things in the interface if it showed it happen via, like, it turns green for a second and then fills up. I'm thinking in terms of, like, how Dark Souls shows damage is very useful. They have a big red meter for the health, and when you take damage, there's an orange chunk that represents the damage you just took, and then the orange chunk drains away over time. You can't do anything to stop the orange from draining, because the damage you took is instant, but the orange indicator helps show what the change was, and it's very nice whenever a game shows something like that. So the lemon actually helped, but it did not help with my hunger. And my exhaustion went up, which is not good for me right now. Vegetables. There goes some hunger. Which, like, seems to have gone way up. There we go. Alright, we're down to just reputation being on the screen right now, but exhaustion is going to show up soon. So I get to look forward to that problem. So many bottles of water. 29! God damn, I'm going to have a lot of bandages soon.
There's this thing that needs to be done.
We'll have to figure out how to keep on living. Tell me, Master Vlad, do you believe we're facing a real epidemic hazard? I still don't understand how you can come to the conclusion that the disease which killed Simon is contagious. Even if we assume that the rumors of a death carrier are nothing but rumors, which I doubt. There has already been an outbreak of an unknown disease in your town. I used to occasionally commune with Isidore Burak, the man who put an end to it. But I'm sure Isidore never told you about this. The brief encounter with the sand plague put him in a state of primal terror. Did you know that? His opinion of his role in stopping the outbreak was not very high, and he ascribed the victory solely to circumstance. It's strange he didn't suspect anything when examining Simon. If you are right, Bachelor, and there really is going to be a sand plague epidemic in this town. There will be no stopping it. You don't need to waste your life. You cannot help us in any way. Your only goal is to survive until the station is reopened. Peculiar fatalism. Are you saying the services of an educated medic won't be of any help to you? Education is of no use here. Isidore may have had no medical education, but he managed to drive the demon back to hell. By the way, he mentioned that one can't beat the plague by traditional means. What means can it be beaten with, then? It cannot be beaten. Isidore was a wise man. He was born here and knew many things that no education can provide. Bachelor, your goal is to survive. Save your talent for the capital. Leave this place. My father will be happy to assist you. I'll speak to your father. Alright. Weren't you supposed to be more helpful than that, though?
Simon died on his own. That much is certain.
Oh, right. That's just it, right, because it always ends after I do that conversation. I've come at Lower Ravel's request. Yes, I remember the arrangement. Here's what I can personally donate. It's a pity I can't extort a nicer sum from my father. Can he be convinced somehow? It's no use even trying. Really? Why? He has his own opinion of the matter. I think he accepts that you might be right. He accepts it, but he won't admit it. See the difference? Obviously, getting solid proof is disadvantageous to him for some reason. Not to mention that it would immediately cause him expenses. I can see the difference, but I don't understand the game he's playing. I'm not going to discuss that. I can only sympathize with you and advise you against disturbing my father with this question. I don't like this. 4,000. Damn. That's helpful. That's very helpful. Also, did I make a mistake? I totally made a mistake. I beelined for the bottom of this region, like, immediately when I should have been going to his father. But hey, I got advice about how to talk to him. I'm gonna loop around to here. And we'll try to get there on the way back. Really, my takeaway of this whole situation is move. Live anywhere else for the love of God. Although you'd have to be out pretty early. Because in a moment here, quarantine is going to begin. Yes. Always be stocking up. And so we return to familiar territory. Starting area. I'm kind of hoping that this initial wave of increased prices goes down a bit. So part of me doesn't want to buy antibiotics or food today, or armor, or anything applicable. I do not see this character often. I think he's exclusively in this west region. This is all familiar conversation though, isn't it? Yeah. There's no new anything there. I should talk to everybody around here, right? Make the rounds. So polite of him to always stand up for me.
What?
Never mind. No dialogue. Visiting her will round out my donations. Which are a lot. In fact, she's from a rich family, so she'll probably contribute something closer to Vlad's, which would take us to 10,000 from this one quest.
There's more life in me that can be lived.
I wish if I'd known this quest was happening in advance, I would have purchased those exact items and then just given to them up front, and then I'd have 10,000. Like, just overinflated currency. You're giving me a stony stare. Is something wrong? Are you disappointed? Tell me, Marie, do you have any influence on Peter Stomaton? He has greater influence on me. Why do you ask? Why? Your questions are very indiscreet. You've only known me for one day, and Daniel. I've known you for a little longer. Your curiosity will be sated in a little while. Allow me to torture you with obscurity for now. On the other hand, it's very simple. He's a genius. Really, he must be constantly exposed to vicious hatred. Why? His way of thinking is provocative enough. What else do people hate each other for? People never hate geniuses more passionately than they crave them. Some would kill Peter. The rest are probably quietly suffering seeing him sink his talent in Twire vodka. I see. Oh, no. And who would you say... And who would say want to kill Peter? You know, Saburov hates Peter. He wants to get back at him for something. I must protect him. If only Saburov seizes the power he is so hopelessly trying to obtain, Peter will be the first to stand at the bone stake. Curious. This gave me an interesting idea. Because the last thing I want for him is to die.
No. No one can replace Simon.
Laura wanted to meet you to collect the donations for the house living. I prohibited her from going outside, and I strongly advise you against doing so. Yes, I am giving her my personal savings. I tried to persuade my father to spare some money from the family funds, but they still refuse to believe in the outbreak. This is just the family line at the moment. Then why do you believe me? Me? I'm just not questioning anything. I'm not allowed to. If you want to know why I decided to give Laura my savings, I'll tell you this. That is because I'm compelled to. By the way, have you found the proof you were looking for? Unfortunately, I have. Tell my father about it as soon as possible. If it isn't too late, tell him that I ordered to donate some money to Captain Ravel's daughter for the foundation of a shelter. He won't refuse. He will probably offer to donate some himself. I was planning to speak to your father in any case. There we go. So she only gave me 2,000. But she's suggesting that her father may give me more if I can offer this evidence of what's going on. She encourages me to ask the father for money, whereas Vlad does the opposite.
Few people know death. We only endure it, usually from determination, and even from stupidity and custom.
I feel guilty for having misled you, dear Bachelor. Forgive this old man. I thought your ignorance of our local affairs would mystically skew the circumstances in your favor. Forgive me if I was wrong. There is no unexpected news to be heard, is there? What news did you expect? Till the very last moment, I hoped that my brother's demise was of mechanical nature, that he had suffered a violent death. I was waiting so eagerly for it to be proven. The cause of his death will undoubtedly become the reason all of us will die. So it's the plague after all, even if it were the nail eater. An evil spirit of the steppe legends, the fight would have been easier. Will you fight? We will fight until the very end. I will personally persecute those who would dare describe this disease as some kind of preordained divine retribution. I will attack anyone who would say Simon got what he deserved. Finally, I will not allow anyone to say what Simon has built by ceaseless labor is subject to inevitable destruction. Retribution for what? Sooner or later, the one who dares challenge the mechanics of nature will pay the price. But this is not something we'd want to believe, is it? This is a conclusion drawn by people who tend to mistake their exhaustion for wisdom. However, even an echo would sometimes grow to become deafening noise. If people keep saying we're doomed, they might well bring about our extinction. I would never draw a conclusion like this. That would bring my whole life work to naught. We're not that different from each other, dear Bachelor. I am grateful for everything you've done for us. I appreciate the risk you took to help us, and I am much obliged for the disheartening conclusion you have reached. No matter what you are going to do, you can count on our full support. The reward we have promised you will be duly delivered. Victor will make all the necessary arrangements. I won't leave you on your own in this battle, Georgie. We have a common foe, and we will fight this foe together.
However brilliant an action, it should not be esteemed great unless the result of a great motive.
There's always hope. We're just done now? Who did she say to ask for money? Shit. I can't talk to him anymore. Maybe it was the other brother. Maybe I am the mistaken one. Either way, lots of money. Lots of money right now. Do you have new dialogue now?
Autumn is gloomy this year.
She was talking about Victor, wasn't she? Laura Ravel is trying to set up a shelter where people could hide from the disease. She needs money. Your daughter has asked you to help. Is that so? So the canny bound are preparing for the epidemic already. Laura Ravel. She's the executed captain's daughter, isn't she? I don't know. Indeed, and Laura is a generous and selfless girl with a tragic fate. I will support her, of course. I'll send her some money tomorrow. I have come here at her behest. I'm afraid that every minute counts in a situation we've found ourselves in. The shops are running out of food as we speak. We must urgently buy the little that's left. Prices are growing rapidly. I see. Right now I can only give some of the little that we have left. Our family's funds are exhausted. I regret it, but that is directly related to my brother Simon's examination and burial. Thank you. Whoa, 5,000. Wow. I think I only had 900 when I got in, when I started running around today, so I've gotten like 15 grand from this quest alone, just staggering amounts of money. This is the game that gave me 2,000 for murdering a dude. So we talked to both of you. Really need to make our way back to the Capella house then, the Oglimsky house. Let's head out. I also need to buy these items they want. Oh right, there's food around here, so I should start here. 3 loaves of bread, 3 dried fish, 3 smoked meat. And once again, I have 2 dried fish. The fuck was that? What was that? Nothing's looking bad right now. Was the game this... That's new, right? The motion blur? Wait, is it gone? Just gonna wobble my camera a little bit to try to see it. It's gone now. Okay. I'm gonna assume that was the symptoms of my infection. Like, is that what it looks like when it just sort of happens for a second? Then it goes away? And it took this long to show up a single time because I just don't have that much infection right now? I'm gonna run with that idea for now. So many bottles. Oh my god. They weren't this plentiful before, were they? Okay, there's food around here. It's probably that one, because I think that's the clothing shop. Yeah. I wish you could draw on the map. That'd just be satisfying. I kind of like the idea of being able to draw, like, super... Just get increasingly detailed notes on your map, like, with, like, color coding and, like, start developing a system of notating all this stuff. You could make your own map in real life, I suppose. But for Let's Play purposes, having it in the game would be very handy. There's a... You get marginally close to that with, like Legend of Grimrock and places like that, where you can leave notes on a map. But that's usually, like, you click on a tile and you write something there. Something about freehand is kind of... Oh, that's the food shop. This is the medicine shop. And their prices are probably also garbage. Still, I'm gonna double check to see if there was medicine in that quest that I might be missing out on a little bit. It just says meet with those 3 people. Then buy those 3 things of food. Okay, so no mention of drugs. What am I gonna do with this other quest? So Peter's completely off his rocker. His mind is too clouded with Twyron for him to consider the consequences of his actions. Does he seek this self-bedazzlement on purpose? How can I possibly come to terms with such an obstinate man? It would appear that possession of authority is not enough for Saburov. He doesn't just want to hold the power, he wants to use it to its full extent. Will he be able to resist the temptation of settling a personal score? I should definitely share these thoughts with Peter. Right, so we need to loop back around to Peter after the previous thing. We've got a few things to do. We'll figure it out.